Hello, and welcome back. Saturday morning, 8:30, pretty above average. Sales good. Do some DMs. All right. So to start off with, we headed next town west to Eastlake. Because last night, thought, well, I should probably start looking for some winter inventory, and that reason primarily is when winter hits and it turns into brutally cold or really snowy, and road conditions aren't really ideal to be driving far or for a while. It's good to find a place where you can acquire multiple things that even if or multiple lots or whichever, and even if you listed 50 a day, you'd still have plenty. So I'm talking about going out and getting a lot of something of 400 or 500 or more or less on multiple days throughout until actually the real cold hits. That way you have plenty to work with in case one of those days happens, which it will in winter. It will snow in winter in the places where it does snow. It'll even snow in winter in places where it shouldn't. I was on Marketplace last night, and so I just typed in CDs. And of course, a lot of people are going to have 20, 30 CDs, for a lot for 50, 60, $70. And that's what a lot of people are thinking that they can get rid of their CDs for if they're the right genre and so on and so forth. They probably can. And so I still try to stick kind of local, and I see an ad and the price is free. And I know that most of the time when those are free, it's going to be an accumulation of different things, and there's going to be prices on certain lots or certain items within that ad. So I went ahead and clicked the ad, and there was a video of a bunch of records. I was like, well, if there's a video, chances are there's not a bunch of records. And I look, and it's a fairly entertaining video of what all is involved. So I continue through the ad. I go to the couple of web links there, and I see a whole other different video. Actually, that ad then takes me to a YouTube ad or a YouTube video, and I watched that video, and it's like 9 minute long video, and it turns out that the place where I'm going is a business that's pretty much closing down, and he was at least in the video says he's a book collector. The other aspect is that they did show the guy. His name is Mark, a whole other different Mark than the one I've mentioned here, and different than my brother. I only saw the backside of him. However, his physique and his gait, like the way his body was while he was, I couldn't see his face. Looks just like this other guy who I see at thrift stores, another Mark, and he he told me a while ago that he was a record collector, and I don't do vinyl, and there are tens of thousands of records there. But he was also, if I remember right, he was also a DJ in like the 60s and 70s or 70s and 80s up in here in the Cleveland area. So knowing that, then he would otherwise probably have some decent ear for music. The CDs that I saw, there was probably the accumulation was probably 500 to 800, and the books probably just as many, if not more, but spattered, but all the way around. I'm going to try to get a video of the inside of what I'm looking for. It probably won't be the entire store, and my wife's going to tag along with me just because it's a place that's going to have a lot of real interesting things, and if there's something that she likes, yeah, and she can also, you know, double duty as someone holding a phone camera and go from there. So hopefully they can get in there and be like, hey, I just want the cassettes, the 8 tracks. For those who know, no. And I scared Bandit off his chair. I made a little box for him last night, so it's basically like 2 produce boxes stacked on top of each other and just a blanket wrapped around it. When it starts to get colder, and I have a whole other blanket that, or blankets, that'll work to where it'll make the whole thing right. So I've been throwing food in there this morning to kind of coax them to go in there and realize that it's warmer in there than it is. So hopefully. So also was going with all that. However, that sale starts at 10. So video is starting now. That way it's posted, stuff is packaged, and I can be out. And I can be there at 10 because if there is a lot, you do want to spend quite a few hours there. Unless I just say, hey, look, I'll give you XYZ amount for all the books, which I don't want to do because then I end up bringing them all home and it's double or triple work to do that. Or I could sit there and just go through. I don't know. I got to look and see even what's left. The owner of the company, the estate sale company, is newer, only been around for like 6 months. He worked for a different one before that. So I'm going to try to make a strong connection with him to where I can get dibs on the different places where he's going and get dibs on media. And that's what a lot of my understanding is. That's what a lot of the estate sale companies and people, especially the smaller ones, like to do. They like to have the non, I don't, the resellers who aren't a-holes, right? They like to have the nicer resellers and collectors and stuff like that come in ahead of time. That way it's just less work that they have to do to prep for everything, which have you. So it is a sales video. Let's find out what's sold. I'm going to start off with these Bose speakers, which are somewhere up here. All right, so these are, which ones are these? Lifestyle. So what these ones are, and so I had them out in storage, and they were in a bag on a shelf, and since they are fairly heavy each, the bag must have come down and hit something on the way down that had some liquid in it, and this happened. So I did message the buyer, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to pop these off easily. The grills are stained, but the speakers are fine. You can see that's one that's coated pretty bad. And they still move. And I sent a picture of it. Do you still want them? Hasn't responded. If he says no, cancel order. If he says yes, send them out. All right, so those, just as is, $38. Let's get to what actually sold. That has more in the realm of what I do here. So we have these two, the History of Philosophy paperback books, $46. They are 1977. I think it's just because it's the pair, it's the volume. It's the last idea. I looked them up one time. Whenever I got these, see if there's a date stamp. Pretty easy to get into. April of this year is when I got these. I remember saying them in the sourcing video. I just don't remember what I said. All right, so these three Mona Lisa Twins CDs, $70. So I think I got these at Savers. So they would have been $2, and if I used a coupon, 20% off that, $2 each. So it's either they were 6 or they were less than 5. And one of them does sell a lot more than the other. I don't remember which one, maybe one of the Beatles ones. And then there was this other one, so I just put it all together and $70. Encyclopedia. It's a 1977 reprint of an 1888 encyclopedia. So there was no sales history at all on this reprint. The actual one, yes, if I remember right, it was $100, $200, whatever it was. So I got this at Salvation Army in Copley, so I would have paid $1 then, even before they changed the prices, so it was still $1 then. And got 37. Brave Little Toaster DVD, sealed, 37. Was it? Oh. Well, close enough, 36. Chick Corea, 2-disc CD, 16. All right, I already went over the speakers. Biograph, UB Blake. Just listed this one. I think that maybe there was only one other in Terapeak over 3 years that had sold. I don't remember what the price is. So a lot of times I will start the pricing for something just put it up there, see what happens. It'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, which will come down to $18.50 and change or $18.99, depending on which sale bracket it falls in. And 1987, which will be $16.99 all the way up to like $17.80 something, depending which sale bracket it falls in. And $17.89, which would be just below 15 or just over 15 sales bracket. And then about the only other pricing, if I get something like, well, I could put it up for $15, 1789. I could put it up, I could see if I can get 10, $11 for it, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it goes on sale, and 1, 2, 3, 4 becomes like $10.93 or something. So this was one of those of like, well, one has sold like, I don't know, $8, $10. Let's just put it up there and see what happens. And if over 3, 4 months it gets enough views, I can bring it down. That's just how I price stuff. So this was one of those that applied to and got 16 for it. Paul Revere and the Raiders. Just got this one. And I got it because I wanted Cherokee woman. Cherokee tribe. So proud to live. So proud to die. That song. Guess what? It's not on their greatest hits. Well, not on this greatest hits. Maybe it's just become more of a greatest hits of recent. Maybe they need to put one on there. So, got to listen to jam to listen to that song. Wasn't on there, but I got it because it does have enough of a value to it where I can listen to it, and then when I'm done, I can sell it. $11. And then someone came in and picked up 2 of these. Adventures in Odyssey. One is Heroes, another one is Somewhere in Time. Places of Wonder. Place of Wonder. Heroes 16, Place of Wonder 24. So they can, Adventures in Odyssey, I remember listening to a little of them growing up, especially like my mom's old Ford Aerostar XLT with I think it was a Clarion 8-speaker system. It was great to listen to things like Paul Revere in that, but not necessarily this. And then we would have that playing as we would come up here to Headlands State Beach Park, which is right up the road, when we lived in Kent. It was like an hour drive. Side stores. So these were probably 50 cents. I don't pick them up too often. When I do, it's usually going to be, I don't always pick up Odyssey, but when I do, Captain MediaMan. The Gold Series tend to do better. There are some non-Gold Series that can, and I still have some other, put these right here, just looking on top, since they're all going to be double CDs, pretty easy to see them, and I don't have any strictly directly on top that are easy to spot. I don't have many of them. Oh, here's one actually in that box. So that is a non-gold. I don't remember. You'd have to look this one up on my store to see what it is, but it's probably $18-20, if not more. And that was right beside Modern Folk Quartet. Speaking of that, the older generation. So we have 321 in sales, 310 product cost received. So out of essentially 9 orders, so if I take that 40 out, that's for the speakers, assuming that doesn't sell, uh, uh, he doesn't want it. So taking that 40 out of that total is still 280 in sales out of 9 items, 8 orders. Works for me. So get the stuff packaged up, get it outside. I don't think it's going to rain, so I don't have to put anything over top of the mail container. And go head up there and see what I come across. And hopefully it's at least 4, 5, 600 different things. And bring them back. I may scan all the scannable stuff and just go from there. Most of the books that I saw, at least in the video, are non-barcode. So there's that. So that's going to wrap that one up. So like what you heard, like what you saw, like what you learned. Little offshoot ways on how you can find inventory. Try those. Go outside the box. Throughout the year, I usually don't source online like that through Marketplace or Craigslist or anything of that sort, but just one domino hit another, and it turned out to where it was something that's going to be pretty beneficial and it's local. So find different ways on how to get not media stuff inventory. Find different ways how to get inventory, especially with the winter months coming up. That way you have plenty during a time when sales are more plenty. Go with that. If anything you're going up, comment down below. Subscribe, share. Those are all free. They help me help you so we can help other people learn about selling physical media on eBay and what to kind of look for. Appreciate it. Thank you.